everybody? Welcome to Urban Hermit. Cameron here with my co-host.
What's up?
With my hardcore '90s co-host.
Didn't we want to? Mark Nussle.
Jordan Michael Jones.
Full name. Interesting.
Didn't we want to try to bring back What's Up?
Oh yeah, Mark and I did say we are on a campaign to bring back the What's Up. So we'd like to say that to start off.
We need boots on the ground. We need a lot of foot soldiers.
That's true.
What's probably stupid is since what's below us? We're millennials. What are they? Gen Z or something? Gen Zers are just trying to bring back '90s trends, so it's probably already popular.
That's true.
Probably post-ironic now.
Yeah, but wouldn't you feel good if you were the one that brought it back for him? If you were the genesis of it coming back into existence, Jordan?
If I wrote Super Bowl ads, I'd be like, should we just bring back the What's Up people every year? And eventually it hit.
It would hit now. Yeah, that would totally hit. Speaking of games and Super Bowl, we did go to a Bulls game since last broadcast.
Yes,
I don't think we've talked about it since then.
We teased it. We did,
but we did go to a Bulls game together. We had our first Urban Hermit / Cult Classics podcast outing. It was splendid.
I wouldn't say that, but it was a planned event.
It felt like a company outing. We've done things together, but we don't often
team dinner.
Yeah, we don't often leave each other's houses though when we do stuff. We don't often go places together, you know?
No, I've lived in the city for over 12 years, and I've seen Cameron outside of his apartment like twice.
Yeah, I know, it's a rarity. That's why we have this podcast, Jordan. Now,
to see each other.
The game
let
itself
our families know we're doing okay.
We're doing fine. The game itself was great. We faced the Hawks and we won. Fun time had by all, but the drive home ended up being a minor nightmare. So there was a snowstorm the night of the game, and this
almost an ice storm.
Yeah,
it was almost
really.
Worse than
it was worse. Yeah, because it was rain, it was snow, it was ice, it was freezing, it was slippery.
Leading up to it for 3 weeks, it hadn't snowed, and then following 3 weeks, it didn't snow after that day.
I was even questioning if I would go because I knew the roads would be bad. I did. Fun time. On the way back, I didn't see a pothole, unfortunately, because the streets were still covered with snow. I'm going to the suburbs, and I completely blew a tire on my girlfriend's car, fiance's car, sorry. Not just like a little pop, the entire tire blew. Had I not been going 40 miles per hour because of the bad weather, it probably would have been a lot worse. Because even when we got the car towed later and dropped off, they're like, oh wow, it's a miracle the rims on this thing still.
I didn't realize it completely
simultaneous thank you and sorry.
Oh, no problem. You guys didn't do anything. It's really the.
No, I know, but it was.
I like though that it didn't fully negate the whole experience for you.
No, it could have been much worse. One thing that made it somewhat terrible, though, so I limp off the highway. I take the nearest exit. I was only an exit 4 miles away from my house anyway, so it wasn't terrible. But I limp off, and then I go to look for the spare tire, so I can just change it and get home and deal with it in the morning. And then I find that her car, the Ford EcoSport, only comes with a patch kit and a pump. So now my tires...
So did you at least get it out for comical factor?
Oh, I got it out. Well, I got it out, but I looked at it was literally in my hand. It was so sad because it's just snowing really hard around me. I'm holding a pump in my hand, looking at a completely shredded tire that there's it can't hold air anymore. So then I just sit in my car for 20 minutes angry, and I call a tow. That took an hour to get there.
All during this time, Mark and I were having a celebratory beer because we just saw the game and it was his birthday the next day. And we're having a real good time. And Cameron's trying to kill our buzz. We're like, I've got a flat tire.
Yeah.
We're should we go out there? Even though neither of us could. I mean, we weren't drunk, but
we said
probably
it for effect.
Yeah,
we weren't going out there.
It was
it would not have done any good. What would you guys have done at that point?
Oh man,
that tire's real shredded.
Real shredded, but I am gonna need a ride.
Yeah, back.
No, but overall that sucked. But I did tell Cameron, not the night of, but the next day I'm like, well, you can bring it up on the Urban Hermit. So it's, And
now I have.
I have a few things written down about the Bulls game.
Sure.
So I was waiting in line. My Uber was late to the game. I didn't hail the Uber early enough. Mm-hmm. That's on me. And I'm waiting in line to get in through security, and this chick is walking by. She's got VIP tickets, so she walks right in. But she's holding this box of pizza. She's like, "Anybody want pizza?" I swear it's not weird. Pizza? When you say it's not weird, it's a little weird.
Did you have a full box of pizza?
Yeah, well, she took a slice. Her and a friend, each ate a slice, and then had the rest of the pizza, and it was probably perfectly fine. But she was trying to give it out. to the crowd, the line of people waiting, and she's like, "It's not weird, I swear."
In a
And no one said
vacuum, though, it's not.
I was God.
I want the pizza.
Now,
I've been in situations like that.
This reminds me of another just weird pizza incident. I know we've talked about this on a podcast before.
Oh,
but
this was us, right?
Yeah. Jordan and I were traveling at Midway Airport, and a guy went through airport security with a full...
a lady.
Oh, a lady.
Not that
with
it matters, but
with
it
a
was.
full deep dish pizza, though. Like a brand new, just got it, like from a store, like from a
Like
restaurant.
a Giordano's pizza, I think.
Yeah,
large, too, so that's a hefty pizza.
Yeah.
But you know what I learned from that? You can travel in an airport with any food you want. You can go through security with that. I don't know if they scanned or not.
I was about to say, do you have to send it through like the little conveyor belt?
I didn't get that, but I'm like, this lady, what with this lady? But I suppose if she had a short flight, she's like, I am going to bring this pizza home to somebody. And you know what she said? Don't make it weird. It's not weird. Just have some pizza.
Don't make it weird.
It's not weird.
To make it a
Why
little
is it weird?
I do remember she didn't put it on the belt. She just walked through the scanner with it in the hand. Because I do remember that it never left her hand. And I'm like, that's weirder. Why is she putting it down?
That is
I have
gonna-
enough. Yeah, it's like, so, can you take off your shoes? The belt, the pizza's fine.
That
Come
can
through
go
with that.
through. We can scan right through that.
The
That's
pizza
no
made
problem.
it through. You, on
Yeah, right.
You, on the other hand, just have nothing but red flags now. We're gonna need to randomly check everything you.
Mr. Lou Malnati is on the no-fly list now.
I worked for Lou Malnati's for 6 months. It was rough on my knees. It sounds like a sexual innuendo, but I was just on my.
off the boss.
No, that's not what happened. Mark, I went from Arazu to there, another restaurant. And
I remember that.
You're on your feet a lot there. But my God, I feel like I was on my feet way more, and just my knees were just shot every day.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I'm doing a bunch of home repairs, as you know, currently, and I'm putting in new flooring in our living room and
Cameron's
kitchen.
just trying to defend that he's wearing overalls right now.
No,
he isn't.
No, he's trying to defend that he has like rollerblading knee pads in his closet.
No,
you got those?
No, I need some. My knees are bruised and killing me because I've been on my hands and knees like crawling on hardwood floors. Like my fiance's just heard me going like so I travel like a foot at a time to like lay in the next plank. It is killing my body right now. I need some knee
old man
pads.
noises.
Oh, just nothing but right now. But I need some knee pads. But by the time Amazon they would get here, I'll just be done with the project. And
You mean like by the end of this podcast, it's Amazon? They're already there, Cameron.
that's true.
They're in your closet.
I probably could get a
The worst
budget
is
tomorrow
like when you
morning.
order something from Amazon and it says like March 2024. You're like, fuck. Why is that so back ordered? People just buying knee pads that much?
Of course they are. I did something really stupid. Just again working on home projects like earlier this year, or I guess last year. But I just ordered some specific screws I needed. But it took like 4 months to get here because I didn't know they were coming from China. And in that time, I just went to a hardware store and got the screws. And then eventually
Why
they
would
came.
you order screws?
Well, because I thought it was going to come, because I was just getting a bunch of like different, like we were already getting things like wallpaper and just other things for like the home shit. So I was like, oh, I need these screws, throw that on the order.
Were they a specialty screw?
No, they were just a size, but like we just got a cheap one, not knowing where it was coming from.
No, it's just it's
Like
half
if
an
you
inch
look
wood
for
screw.
screws on Amazon, there's a million options. We just picked a cheap one. It turns out it was coming overseas, and there was a problem with shipping. It took fucking
Cameron,
months.
I feel like I'm looking at a drunken Amazon purchase, and this is an audio podcast, but I feel like I'm looking at a new purchase in frame.
Oh yeah, I bought a new mic and a new arm. It turns out I hate the new mic arm holding this up. I kind of prefer my old cheap one, but it looks great. I'm rocking a very professional setup now for my rinky-dink little home studio here.
I'd say that, and I'm only saying this because I've recently updated my mic or upgraded my mic. We look, I would say now, if you saw footage of this, are still like a real podcast happening.
Yeah, it only. Took
I don't
us
have
like,
my call center headset on anymore.
It only took us how many years have we been doing this?
But only 1 year remotely. That used to come up when Meg and I were dating. Like, how long you been dating? Like, only as adults for 5 years.
There you go. I got some news.
I
yeah.
will fill in, though, on Megan and my news. We are up to, do you want to guess
Oh
the size
yeah,
of
what
our
is
baby?
what vegetable and or fruit is the size of your child?
Kumquat.
We went from a lemon,
Okay.
and then last week it was a navel orange, but we weren't doing the podcast. This week, starting tomorrow, it will be the size of a peach.
Oh, at what
Oh,
part?
wait, sorry, a
slow
pear,
moving.
a pear.
Pear.
At what point do we get alarmed like it's now the size of a watermelon? It shows no signs of stopping. What
It's got
fruit's
really
too big?
wide set hips. It's kind of got a pear-shaped body.
We're not alarmed yet. It seems like it's making the right progress, and it's the size of a pear. That seems like a pretty big jump, though, from a navel
Yeah, that
orange
seems
to-
huge. We're getting a little alarmed because it is now the shape and size of a gourd.
Hey, can I just say pears have a wide range of
Sure.
Of size.
I have no idea.
You can have a really good pear and then a really, really grainy, sandy, bad pear.
There's no such thing as a good pear. If you want a pear, just get a fucking apple if you want something good.
Again, I'm glad you bring
A
this
pear's
up.
nothing but the worst apple you've ever had.
right.
Well, okay.
Every pear's the worst apple you've ever had. That's how I feel about pears.
Nicole was going shopping earlier, and she was like, "Hey, we're out of oranges. Do you want another fruit?" And I'm like, "Yeah, surprise me. I would like a peach, a pear, a plum, something."
She got you grapefruit.
Well, she hasn't gotten anything yet because she's like doing it after work. So, but like, she was even like, "You want a peach or a plum?" Like, I don't know. I guess get oranges again. I was just trying to be fun.
Ooh, no, that's another thing. Like a peach and a plum, a nice ripe peach plum. Juice is running down your face, your chin.
I don't know the last time I had a plum. I don't like the visual you just gave me for juices running down your chin, but I mean,
Yeah.
I just
All
text
down your
Megan.
chin,
I
all
actually
down
just
your
text
chin.
Megan in all caps. We need plums. And I like that quite a bit. That got me going.
Oh,
just dripping, Cameron, oozing the sensuality.
you
The plum.
incepted the shit out of me, and now I just always have chocolate milk on hand at the house. Now it's great.
Are you since your revelation? Is it real chocolate milk or?
I'm still
lactose
doing
free?
lactose intolerant. Like I've been eating real cheese and just going ham on everything else. But if I'm going to just straight milk, doesn't it seem like I should just make it safer? I don't know.
Yeah, start liquid and
Yeah, I don't know. It
so-
seems dangerous.
I'm
still.
telling you this right now, and I'm not saying this just because I don't even know if I'm lactose intolerant, but I have a sensitivity. I think
we all are to some extent.
the
yeah.
brand Lactaid's chocolate milk, the mix on the chocolate milk is perfect.
It really is.
It's just the best chocolate milk. Fairlife is okay, and I haven't gotten to drink it because I'm scared that I'll just shit my pants for days.
Sure.
But Oberweis in the city, that chocolate milk's got to be awesome.
Oh, that has
The
to be
glass
just
bottle.
the
yeah.
richest and the most.
I haven't had
dangerous.
it.
Does that come in like a glass bottle?
Yeah, it does.
Oh
So
my
you pay
God.
a deposit for it, and that's a premium, right? But you can just keep returning the bottle and then get it like cheaper.
If you,
I want a
for,
milkman to come in my door.
For Urban
I
Hermit
would love a
context, if
milkman.
you're not aware, Oberweis is a milk and ice cream store. Is it just regional to the Midwest, or are they everywhere?
It's
I don't even
regional
know.
to the Midwest, I think.
People probably have heard the name.
Yeah,
maybe
you probably
not.
have, but if not, you get fresh ass creamy milk in bottles and like really nice rich ice cream.
Mark, I hate to give an assignment, but do me and Cameron a favor, and I'll get it for you. I just want to know what it tastes like. I bet it's great. I bet it's just. Mwah.
You know what our town had, and maybe we've talked about this on the pod before. Very similar to a milkman is the Schwansman.
Is that another just Midwest thing? A Schwansman, for context,
I don't think it's just Iowa. I think it's.
that's
They,
national.
Midwest.
they dressed as sort of like little bellboys that came to your door and like delivered frozen goods.
I'm not
I don't know,
joking when
the
I say
Schwansman
this.
was awesome.
Do they still have the Schwansman? Like, if you went back to Manchester, are people still doing that, or did Walmart take everything from people?
I don't know.
They might have, yeah.
I don't know.
Cameron and I didn't grow up in a Schwan's house, Call
it what
and
it is.
I was jealous.
My
Just
family
jealous.
sang the Schwan song.
I didn't know
And
there
that
was
goes
one.
as
Yeah, that it would be.
Well, it's just the.
in my head. It was very Adam Sandler, like Schwan's house.
Mark breaks out
Schwan's
into some aggressive
house.
German.
Quit looking at me,
Deutschlagen
Schwan.
dieses Schwan.
Oh God.
I'll ask around the horn, and this is maybe too inside baseball for our listeners, but half of our listeners are probably from our town we grew up in. Outside of the ice cream treats, which were the best, what was a sneaky, really awesome Schwan's item that I would see at people's houses? I loved when they'd you can't ask for it. You can't be like, could you make this for us? But when it got made, I'm like, fuck yeah.
What?
I'm not gonna be able to guess this.
No.
I'm just gonna say it. It's mini tacos. I love those damn things.
God, those are so good.
Don't even remember those at all.
They're like little taquitos, but I don't know, whatever.
Speaking
All right,
of,
let's move.
also speaking of which, though, on that chocolate milk, I've been using that lactose-free chocolate milk as just a cold brew mixer. It's been my creamer and it's been my sweetener, and it pretty much just makes my chocolate milk taste a little bit coffee and get me super jacked.
I was gonna ask, did you guys? Yeah, like that's a good example. Did you ever use like chocolate milk in like a cereal or anything? Would you put it in like?
Yeah, dabbled.
I've never done that. I've never done that.
I did it with
think so.
chocolate cereals just to double down. That's like kind of the only move you
Yeah,
can
like
do,
Pebbles.
right?
I don't think I ever did it. No. It seems like something I would have tried, but I didn't.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I mean, it's just more chocolate. Tastes good.
It actually would be weird. I think it'd be like, now that I'm adult and thinking of it logically, it'd probably mix better with like a berry cereal.
Not berry,
Like a
maybe,
chocolate berry.
or like vanilla or something, maybe, or like maybe even like honey bunches of oats or something with chocolate on that.
like a more adult one, like Special K with strawberries. They're like the
What
chocolate
about
milk might complement
That would make more
Frosted
sense.
mini wheats with Oberweis chocolate milk.
That'd probably be amazing.
I don't hate it. I don't hate
sounds
it.
great.
I love Frosted Mini Wheats. I think it's an underrated cereal.
Did we talk about cereal last week? Because I feel like I've recently talked about that Rice Krispie treat cereal. Not Rice Krispies, but it was chunks of Rice Krispie treats in a cereal box.
Oh, it was like,
It was delicious.
I don't remember that, but that is an anomaly.
It was great. You
It was
just be
good.
eating handfuls of Rice Krispie treats.
One argument, though, a little tough on. I mean, and this is true of a lot of sugary cereals and clusters.
Sharp
a
on
little
the
tough on the
mouth.
roof of your mouth.
Yeah,
it was not a soft crunch.
Is
had
Captain
bigger.
Crunch just the worst at that? Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything else that is shredded in my mouth
You go
more.
2 days, you've got to go a week to let it heal.
Yeah, you can't take a couple handfuls of that and like not have some bleeding gums.
That's right.
It's terrible.
I can't think of there's nothing worse than that Captain Crunch. But you know what's weird? It does get soggy.
That's true.
Like it's weird that it doesn't
There's a
just-
window that you can like safely eat it,
Yeah.
and I guess that's true for all cereals. No,
I mean, Fruity Pebbles. Cocoa Pebbles. You got to go quick. It's the opposite. Small window.
Small window with the pebbles.
Well, I am a huge fan, though.
We definitely talked about
have. Let me
this
get off of this. I have some news for you, Mark. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna like this.
not.
Headline coming from NPR: Beware giant spiders. Let me click on the link here. Yeah, you're not going to like this. So this is beware the Juro spider. This is a giant hand-sized spider that is common in the south and southwest of the United States. But apparently because of global warming, essentially, and it's like it has changed and what's the word? It is mutated now to be able to last, I guess, better in colder climate. So people should try to live to learn with them, says this research scientist, that they can grow to about 3 inches long. They're large and bulbous with bright, hairy yellow.
Bulbous. That's the one word that just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Well, this seems bad too. But they have bright yellow stripes and an underbelly with red markings, so it looks dangerous. But they are non-venomous. They're just big spiders that are from the
size
south,
of a bulbous pear.
But apparently, we're going to start.
Bulbous, I
seizing
thought
them.
bulbous means fat, right?
I mean, think of
Or just large.
Think of a bulb. Think of a pear. Bulbous.
Oh, like my unborn child.
Yeah. There you go.
Pear size,
Yeah,
not
pear
shape.
size.
Yeah.
I hope we don't have a pear-shaped child yet.
I
got a question though.
Smidge closer, Jordan.
Am I too far?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, then
There you
sorry
go.
about all that audio. Is it? So this spider we're talking about, and I know you're the expert on it because you just read all that to us.
Juro spider. Joro.
Yeah, I think we all know that. Juro.
It gets its name from
Juro.
It gets its name from Jurogumo.
Juro.
It gets its name from Jurogumo in Japanese folklore. And it says it can turn itself into a beautiful woman to prey on unsuspecting men.
Well, that seems like a lot of work.
In my life, yeah, that's true.
You can still get bit by it though, right? It's just not venomous.
Despite their startling appearance and namesake, they do not appear to be harmful or have much of an effect on illegal agricultural ecosystem either.
Venom, no venom. I don't want to be bit by a bulbous spider. It's not something that I want to happen to me.
They're thinking this might be a good thing though for dwindling bird populations, that they might be having feast on giant spiders soon.
The classic bird population argument, huh?
Scientists say they are harmless to people and pets because their fangs are usually too small to break skin. So there you go. They'll just gnaw on you a little.
It's not the big spiders you got to worry about, from what I understand for the most part. It's the little fucking weird ones that can like get at you.
They can jump. Yeah.
Well, I feel like just the TV's taught me also bright colors are bad. So what's this spider have business being yellow and red? There's no business, Jordan. That's confusing.
No business.
There's no business here.
Super confusing.
I'm not afraid of spiders because I can kill them.
I don't like. I mean, I'm not a spider snake guy. I don't like them because they.
You will hear a shriek out of me if I see a spider anywhere near me.
I don't like the way they move. Either animal.
Yeah,
I mean, even if they aren't poisonous, I don't want them biting me defensively and being scared.
Yeah, right.
Like a snake still just going like and like catching my hands.
I'm not poisonous,
cool.
but imagine me biting like.
It really just all makes
biting what, Mark? I can imagine.
The big difference is inside versus outside. Outside, I'm not scared of most things unless I feel like I'm about to get attacked. But inside, you're like, oh no, now that's a problem.
Yeah, it has no business inside.
That's a problem.
Do you know what nobody brings up enough? If a squirrel got in your house, that would be a nightmare.
I mean,
You'd never get that goddamn squirrel.
It's just a cuter rat. But I am seeing more and more squirrels on TikTok and as pets and on social media. It's becoming more and more of a thing.
I think I'd use a blanket bag.
Oh, funny enough, a bird got into our house like I don't know, like a month before, like it got cold, so like a few months ago. But I was just swooping down, had all the windows down. I didn't do anything, and I was just ducking it until it finally got out. I was trying to get stuff, but I was also I had cats trying to kill it. So it was.
I don't know if you want to tell this story, but
what, my dad?
There's a great bat. Scott Jones.
Yeah, screw it. We'll go into this. So this is the most emasculating moment of my life. So I was like just getting out of high school or early college years. I can't exactly remember, but good friend of the podcast, guitar player of the band, Chris Reimer, was living at my parents' house with me at the time, and
not a squatter.
He was invited to live there. We'd been out having a late, fun night, getting back in the wee hours of the morning, and right when we step in my parents' front door, Chris ducks down. He's like, "Jesus Christ!" I'm like, "What?" And we just see this bat like swooping around. So we were like, oh, we can do this. So we end up like just running around my parents' like living room and kitchen high for like 45 minutes with like a blanket and a broom.
Your parents are in bed just like
God
damn it.
Like running around and like, oh Jesus, duck, and like just screaming. So like after like 40 minutes of like throwing a blanket around, me running around with the broom, and we did make contact a few times, but it didn't seem to help the situation. But finally, I go into my parents' room. I open the door and I'm like, "Hey, Dad," and from the darkness, I just hear,
I just threw up.
I just hear what? Meaning he's clearly awake. He knows something's going on, and he's ready to hear.
Yeah, just think of the ruckus you guys were causing.
Oh, I'm sure it was terrible at like 3, 4 in the morning. And I'm like,
you were. What room was the bat in? Just this is more
kitchen,
my
living room, upstairs,
yeah,
like his level.
Oh yeah. He could hear. I mean, you could hear everything anywhere in the house, but
yeah.
he definitely heard
So I'm just like, "Hey, Dad, there's a bat in the living room. I've been trying to.
I know.
Yeah, I've been trying to get it out for like an hour, but I'm like, hey, I'm not coming up on top here, man." So without saying a word to me, he steps out of bed. There's a wicker trash basket on the side of his bed. He just dumps it next to him, all the contents, the tissues on the floor. Barely eyes open. He just walks out of the room. He goes through the kitchen. By now, the bat is like in our stairwell leading to the basement. So like it's up in the air like an extra story, like above the bottom. So it's just flying in the air. My dad takes the wicker trash basket.
Oh, it's in the stairwell.
Yeah, and he throws the trash basket like a spiral football. It gets the bat midair and slams it against the wall, knocks the bat out, perfectly falls in the basket. Dad just goes, gets it, throws outside, doesn't say a word to me, just goes back to bed.
Drew Tate Orange Bowl 2005.
Does he wash his hands or not wash his hands?
No, he goes right back to bed. He doesn't do a thing, Jordan. Didn't say a word to me. It was beautiful.
I may have missed it, but are we talking, is this a weekend or a weekday?
It's hard to say. It's summer. It was summer, so it could have been it could have been anything.
Huck Finn over here, like, I don't know, man. What day is it?
Free. I don't live it by time, Jordan.
I do have one bad experience at the house.
Sure.
Megan and I.
B-A-D or B-A-T?
Oh, I've got many bad experiences. Bat, B-A-T. Megs and I were there like after college, and nobody else was in the house, and we were sleeping in like our downstairs room, like where we grew up in, the downstairs room. And she went upstairs because she woke up before me, and a bat had gotten into the living room somehow, either through the chimney or the garage. And she said that she was just freaking out, and she like shut herself in a room, and she was yelling, Jordan, wake up, a bat for like 45 minutes. But I was asleep downstairs. And like as I came to, I eventually woke up and went up to like join her upstairs, and then I saw the bat flutter. I'm like, "Oh, Jesus, Megan, did you know there's a bat in here?" She's like, "Yeah, I've been terrified for the last 40 minutes." Now I got lucky. As I opened the door, rather than getting stuck on the stairwell, it went down into the basement, and it set up shop right at the window in the corner there. Mm-hmm. So all I had to do was just open the window and run away real scared, and it just flew out.
That's how I got rid of my bird situation.
I dodged a bullet.
This just reminds me of the time that Jordan made Mark and myself an accomplice to murder with that rat. Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus.
So,
but aren't you glad that it was an accomplice to, like, seeing your two friends get murdered by a giant rat?
That's true. So, for listeners out there, when we first moved to Chicago, fresh face from Iowa, all of us, we used to live, like, right down the street from Jordan, Mark and myself. We had a house with the band. And
great little spot in Wicker Park, both of us.
Oh, it was a great spot. So your now wife, at the time girlfriend, she rarely called me on her phone. Like if I was hearing from you two, I mean, it'd be you calling me. So it's like,
especially at that time.
yeah.
back then.
So it's like 12:30 at night, and your wife is, well, then girlfriend is calling me. And at the time I was just out of high school. We were partying. We were having a fun time, just new to Chicago. And then I'm like, I'm getting a call from Megan. Like, this can't be good. So
Jordan's missing.
Yeah, something bad. So I pick up. I'm like, everyone, shut the fuck up. Shut up. I'm like, hello? And then she's even like, Cameron, what are you doing right now? And her voice is a little shaky. I'm like, oh, no, it is something bad. Jordan's dead.
Seriously, shut the fuck up.
And then I'm like, nothing. Why? What's going on?
Right.
And she doesn't say anything else. She just says, Jordan needs your help. You need to get over here right now. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, this is something bad. So I'm like, I'm not going alone. If this is a murder thing, I need someone else to, like, help me take her down. I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, Mark, come on. We got to go to Jordan's right now. Something's wrong. So we were hipsters, and it was like, I don't know, 2010. So we grab our longboards, and we start going down the street to my brother's house. That's how we got there. We were just...
Oh, yeah. It's like you guys came in from a Capri Sun commercial. You're like, what's up, bros?
Yeah,
I'm like,
kind
dude,
of.
it's not the time.
Hey, you want a Sprite?
Kind of, except for we were drunk and coming from a party, and like, I can't tell you how sobering it was all of a sudden being like, I don't know, I think my brother's dead. We got to go now. So we show up. I'm a little tipsy.
You guys skateboarded as boys and you left as men.
Dude, honestly,
Yes,
wait.
exactly right.
Wait till the end of the story. So we show up, and Megan's like, "Okay, he's in the back," and we can already hear like a like a terrible noise. And you come up, and you're like, "Oh, you called him, Megan? We got this." And you were even kind of like, "We could do this." And I was like,
"Oh, I did. I didn't want her to call. Can I call her in just for this to vouch?"
Yeah.
I did
You
not
can
want
go
her.
get her.
Megan, can you come in?
I'm going to continue on, but. So I'm like, what's going on? And you're like, oh, nothing. There's just a giant rat stuck in a glue trap behind our like washer dryer.
6 screw traps.
Yeah, it's like really stuck, but I'm afraid to go at it because last time I had one like caught, it got loose on you and it scurried away, and you were terrified of getting bit. So I was like, so what do you want me to do? And Megan, your then girlfriend, now wife, was like, we just need moral support, man. So I just like, me and Mark hyped you up as you reached down with a towel, grabbed a rat shrieking for its life.
Just do it.
And then you just dropped it in the garbage. Like, you didn't put it out of its misery or set it free or do anything. You just left it to die in the trash.
Yeah, not my trash, and like the alley's trash.
Yeah. So I don't know why you took me and Mark from a
Like
party
a lobster
to see
when
this.
you boil it, start
I'm
screaming.
gonna counterpoint, but I'm gonna put Megan on the cans now. I just want to vouch. I did not ask her to call you.
Okay.
Talking about that rat.
You know the one, the rat.
Oh, she probably doesn't want to talk on mic. But I did not ask you. to
Jordan
call
says
Cameron,
you
correct?
never
You can shake
asked
your
to
yes.
call for help.
I asked him if we should call for help, and he said, sure, that
Okay.
might be good.
Okay.
He said that might be good.
That's
I'll
right.
tell you what, it wasn't. It was pretty
We weren't
traumatic.
getting it by ourselves, and by ourselves, I was not going back there.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, there was
I'll take it
loud
back.
noises,
Sorry for making you
screams.
come here.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna defend myself for a while.
I mean, I'd like to say I was happy to help, but all we did was witness you.
Megan, thank you. Good to
Thank
see
you
you.
for stopping in, Megan.
Thank you for coming. I apologize for making you come.
I mean,
Megan.
all we did was witness you, throw a rat to a
So
slow,
here's
horrible
what
death in
happened.
the Chicago
Here's what
We just
River.
came to watch. We didn't help. We
Yeah.
just came to watch.
Do it.
Here's what I
Grab that
here's
motherfucker.
Here's
all
what
I
I needed
did.
help, right? This was like it's like realizing in Jurassic Park when T-Rex is loose and we're gonna have it's like bigger than you thought. I thought
The
we
goat
were
is gone. Yeah, the goat.
exactly. It's exactly that moment. I had put like small mouse traps around because I thought we just had a mouse because you could hear the scratching in the wall.
Yeah.
But it like chewed through like 4 of those. It had like mouse
left
or rat hair,
remnants
everybody.
of
So then
how
I
big
got
it
the
was.
big sticky rat traps and I got like a bunch of them because I could hear it was coming in. It was between our wall and our dryer, which was like in a back room.
Yeah, I remember it was in that back room. Yeah.
So my fear was, I knew that it was in there because it was squealing. It didn't want to die, but not only did it not want to die, it was coming
He
for
did
people.
not
if it
want to
got
die.
out.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, but I mean, it was not going to go quietly into that night. So I'm like, if this mouse gets loose, if this rat gets loose, I need somebody to hit it as it gets away from me. I need a marking camera.
Yeah, we were called in to stomp a rat the size of a watermelon to like.
It was like definitely a football size. I'm not even joking.
It was very
a
big,
huge rat.
So after you,
I thought I was dealing with a mouse, but no, sir, it was a rat.
So it was pretty traumatic to watch. And then Mark and I were pretty sober by this point, even though it's only been 15 minutes. Cut to like Megan and you.
That's what I'm more curious about, though. Your skateboard ride home.
That was just it. Cut to like you and Megan. Cut to like you and Megan just being like, "Thanks for coming, guys. We really appreciate it," and just like shaking our hands and like shoving us out the freaking door. So then Mark and I didn't say a word to each other, didn't make eye contact. We just skated home on our longboards back to our house and back to the party. I mean, I don't really remember after that, so I assume everything went fine. But I definitely remember that silent skateboard trip home.
It was your walk to the house was like, we're gonna go see a dead body. We're gonna see Ray Brower, and then you saw Ray Brower.
Yeah, it really was
like, let's not talk about
really was our Stand By Me. Only as we rode away, we could still hear from the trash in the alley.
I don't speak, and I don't. You guys don't speak rat either. But it was like, I dare you to get. If I get out of here, I'm coming.
Although, real quick, if you could speak the parcel tongue of rats, what would that sound like, Jordan? Okay.
Well, like I know snake parcel tongue. I'm trying to think what rat parcel tongue.
I bet you should be shrieking. Well, that's almost cute.
They're
that's
Italian, though, and just by trait, I've seen Ratatouille.
I got another news story for you here.
For instance, if there was some green slime in there, it wouldn't have to grow that much to be Splinter. It was like halfway there.
It was pretty much Splinter.
Some green was okay, yeah. Yeah. So that's our. Let us know in the comments section. Your
actually don't.
Yeah, your rats and bat stories.
I really don't want to hear any more traumatic killing stories. So I imagine some people are going to also have some late return stories off of this, but book return to library after 65 years. This is coming to us from UPI News. This was in Portsmouth City. Said appropriately titled "The Forgotten Submarine" was the name of the book, was taken out by Jill Davis in 1957. Blah, 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 blah. It says here that she threw the book on the side of the road, if I'm not mistaken. So it also seems like there should be a bigger fine for this. I think someone just honestly found a really tattered book on the side of the road and returned it to the public library after 65 years. No late fees, no fines, nothing. So if you have any outstanding library warrants out there, everybody listening, you can safely hand them in. Or wait 20 years and then do it.
That just gave me some extreme anxiety. Like I feel like I do have like a couple novels that I need to return to the Manchester.
Working on a little novel there, little antagonist, little.
Mom and Dad had, and I was not an avid reader as a kid, but you know how like back in the day in elementary school or middle school, if you checked out a library, if you didn't return it by the end of the year, they're like, you can't go to the next grade.
No, I do not recall that. That was not an
they're
issue.
like, you have to return all your. They're like, you can't advance if you don't return all your textbooks and any outstanding library book, right?
Right.
So at the end of every year, I'd be like, "Hey, Mom and Dad, I lost a hardcover Rats of Nim or something.
We're missing
gonna
a soft cover of where the red fern grows. You can't go to the soft. Yeah.
Exactly. So that happened like every year in middle school because they made you check out a book, and I was, of course, losing it. So there's like 7. What was that one book?
Well, you know what? Funny. I was wondering what the loophole was because I do remember when our parents were moving out of our childhood home, them finding a bunch of West Delaware library books there. So looks like we found them.
Yeah, so we definitely, Mom and Dad probably spent like $100 over 4 years on books nobody ever read.
Also, quick apology to the readers. I think we just learned that I should maybe vet some of these stories before I just throw them in my notes. Thought that book thing was going to go somewhere. Turns out it just got back. So, bummer.
What was the series of books that was like Harry Potter but wasn't as good?
Percy Jackson. I know that got a series of unfortunate events got compared a lot.
That's what a series of unfortunate events.
I mean, I'd actually never read those, but I feel like a lot of that was just the book covers look similar art style.
That's exactly what it was.
I feel like that,
the covers look similar.
I feel like that was a lot of the confusion. I know Percy Jackson.
You guys like what was it, like the book fairs, the library fairs, book fairs?
We all got tricked into liking them. We all got yo-yos and magic books and cards and fun things.
I left with like a poster of a like Lamborghini and like a poster of Dan Marino,
of course, for sure,
and like with some gack. Like I don't know why I left.
You
with
know
all
what I
that,
love about that? Dan Marino's still the poster you get at
plays,
those book fairs now.
John Elway, he still plays.
Those guys were like retired by the time you were at the book fair.
Which is why they're selling posters, Jordan. We need some money.
That's right.
I made a calendar, a poster, an oven mitt, anything.
A big difference between the way Cameron and I were raised is you were coming out with a yo-yo, and I didn't even ask mom and dad for money for that kind of stuff. I'm like, they're not going to give me yo-yo money.
Yeah, the funny thing is, they totally were going to. It was book fair. That's how you get the fun things, Jordan. You're like, I need money for a book, Jordan. It's a book money.
If you gave me money for a yo-yo, I'd see you at Bretto. Shout out to Bretto, local pizza establishment. I'm like, we're getting cheese sticks today, but I need another silent like partner within that cheese sticks. I don't know how much a yo-yo. The yo-yo phrase was big.
Like little CD of Yo-Yo Ma.
That's right. That's what we're talking. Now, Jordan, you are into hacky sack now, though.
Yes, the
and
cellist.
Hacky sacks were huge in book fair books for a while there.
Yeah. We did the hacky sack back in the day, and as you guys know, I'd say intermediate.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're pretty good for the beginner level.
I do want to go back to book fines. You guys ever get a public library fine?
No. Again, I always just return stuff.
Fine, like FIND or fine, like fine, like
a monetary
like
fine
ticket.
of money, like a parking
Got
ticket.
it. Yeah. No, I think I just had to pay for the book.
I moved to Chicago in 2007, and if you've never been to the Harold Washington Library, it's actually really cool. It's huge.
We went to school there, bud.
Well, did you go to the library though?
We took promo pictures for the band like a few years back.
Yeah, actually, we did in there, didn't we?
I think that's one of the sneaky places that on one of their floors will have wedding receptions, and it's like beautiful. You know what I mean?
That's where I'm pretty sure that's where we took pictures up in that kind of like reception area.
So if you're in the Chicago area just visiting, I don't think this is something we would do, but if you live there, go check it out. But be careful, because this is going to date it. I moved here in 2007, and this is before everything was streaming. So I went there to rent movies, and they let me rent 7 DVDs, right? So I returned all of those 7 DVDs a week late. I'm like, what's it going to cost me? Like $3? They're like, you owe $100 because it's like $2 every day for each DVD. So that was the last time I went to the public library. But I had an Iowa license. Flash forward 7 years later, Jordan got an Illinois license. And now I go back to the library.
I feel like you're admitting to some sort of felony. So I don't know.
This isn't a felony. The only felony...
You can't hold on to the Buttercream Gang that long. That's a coveted DVD.
Oh, I can't. I wish I could remember any of the DVDs, but it's probably just movies. I'm like, I don't know. I couldn't even tell you, but I was shocked. I'm like, well, what's it gonna set me back? They're like, you owe $110 or something. I'm like, that's never gonna happen. And I think I just slowly backed out. And
I'm never. The Simpsons gif where Homer just backs.
Exactly what happened.
Speaking of tickets, this is another short story also coming to us from UPI News. Abandoned boat found tethered to no parking sign on California street. It's just straight up abandoned in a no parking zone, which is kind of hilarious. Police officers in California were left scratching their heads when a boat was found abandoned in the street with it tied to a no parking sign. It's just
that's a good
Twitter
visual.
Says ahoy there,
head scratch.
Ahoy! You can't park there. That's all. That's all there is to this news story. I told you to be short. That's all it was. There's a boat tied to a non-parking sign.
I was trying to think of some sort of like Gilligan's Island sort of like bit like. Dun, 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 you got a parking fine. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, there's something.
Yeah, we'll work on that. We'll get back to you on that one. My last news story for you is from ATI. London YouTuber claims to have been abducted by aliens and has fallen in love with one of them and is in a relationship. Sick of men, London actress Abby Bella says that she hopes to normalize interspecies dating. I feel like that could also mean she's just gonna like fuck a dog or something, but to find her soulmate, London actress Abby Bella looked to the skies. She claims that she fell for an alien after it swept her into its UFO and right off her feet. Bored by the pandemic and unimpressed by offerings of Earth, it seems like she maybe got a little too cooped up during COVID, little bored, and has lost her mind.
We don't kink shame. We don't kink shame around here.
Do you think that if eventually there's aliens, that'll take care of like all homophobic people and they'll just redirect it there? It's like just humans is fine. That's all we want. But no goddamn aliens. It's Adam, and I don't know what their new hate slur would be, but like whatever you filled in to like not be an alien.
You know what, Jordan? That's progress. It says she began
I got a
having
real
dreams
question
of
for you,
white
too.
light. It seems like that's what her abduction experience might have been, just dream visions. And I think those are called dreams. So the next evening, nope. Okay, so first she had dreams of a white
Jordan,
light
you had
coming.
a question, real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
You had a question.
Well, you can tell me if we can go down this path,
Okay.
but like,
I don't
much
edit
human
these.
versus-
You tell me.
This is live.
okay, we can talk it out, but just like, no, there's no way to make this good.
He's tiptoeing.
How much of it like does it need to look like a human for you to date an alien, or can it just look like a fish and you'd be like, we have a connection?
Is it?
Because let's go to Shape of Water. That's a pretty humanistic thing, and I believe has a magical penis or something.
Bipedal seems pretty important. That's on 2 feet, nothing to do with the penis. But bipedal seems pretty important.
Cameron wants 2 penises. Bipedal.
As long as it has the ability
Bipenal.
to stroke.
So Mark just needs a hand. Anywhere will do.
I just need a hand. I just need an appendage.
I think I need a pretty humanistic head.
Oh, God.
But everything else
Not
is
to
fine.
put my dick in.
Oh, okay. Sure.
I need just to like.
Yes.
I need to not be looking at a fish. And this is if there's one thing that's gonna come back and haunt us someday when we're actually dating aliens, is like, do you know you said this in 2022? All this anti-alien bullshit. I'm like, oh god damn. Let's stop talking about this.
I'm glad you brought it
pro
up, 'cause
dating aliens.
once again, my
I've always been pro dating
Yeah,
aliens.
get ahead of it now. Get ahead of it now.
Like, let's get ahead of it.
Once again, my TikTok has just been blowing up with mermaid
Love
news.
is love.
Love is love is love.
Love is love. Mermaids or aliens or anything in between.
So I mean, if you could at least imagine mating with a mermaid, that's not far off from probably what you're saying. You need a face, Jordan.
I know, but on the flip side,
You're a
seems
mermaid
like
man.
What are we stop talking about fish bottom? What do we?
fish bottom's like more problematic than a fish top. No, that's not true.
No, both are very disturbing.
Both are really problematic.
Yeah.
There's a really funny, you may not remember this, but there's one specific sketch from Kids in the Hall that is absolutely hilarious.
For those that don't remember, Kids in the Hall was a sketch comedy show out of Canada.
in the early 90s, late 80s, alt comedy show, sketch comedy show.
Go on.
Right? Anyway, one of the cast members is interviewing for a job, and he is a centaur.
Oh, I vaguely remember this one, yeah.
And the interviewer just keeps being like, well, would you have sex with a horse? He's like, no, I'm a centaur. I don't have sex with a horse. And they go through this long questionnaire that eventually goes like, if you just saw the back half and it was a horse, blah, 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 blah. He's like, would you have sex with it? And then he goes, you bet your sweet ass I would, or something like that. It's like, no, you fuck a horse. And like, don't give him the job. Anyway, go back and watch that if you can find us and let us know if it holds up. I just love that concept.
Dave Foley, who voiced Flick in A Bug's Life, he came from that. Also, the alien from Lilo and Stitch, Kevin, is from Kids in the Hall. And I'm trying to see if anyone else is in a reference I can get people to know. Bruce, is he in anything?
Bruce, no, but the one might have ended up.
Oh, the Superstore.
Superstore, yeah.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Mark.
Oh, I did say, yeah.
You
Anyway,
watched
go
that for a
check it
sec,
out.
Right? Was that?
And I never got into that.
Superstore. Oh, anyway, you were gonna. What was your question here about interspecies sex, Cameron?
I had none. Oh, the story went on. I mean, just to say, it started with her like having dreams of a bright light. The next evening, she said,
Shape of Water's a good love story, though. That's
"Yeah,
like
you're
that's
right. Fuck
touching
this
and, like,
alien
whimsical shit.
boning story. Let's just get off this. I'm out of news stories. What else you guys got going on?"
No, go on.
I didn't have anything. Mine was just gonna take us into.
I was going roundabout back to the Bulls game. Loose mustard spigot.
Okay.
Oh.
That actually is funny that you bring it up. We're going back to the
I had
the
mustard
company
with a
out
side
of
of
the
hot
Bulls
dog.
game.
Yeah, I came out clean though. Somehow I came out with no mustard stains on my clothing.
I need to. So I thought it was like a pump situation. It was a tap situation.
It's a mustard tap. They had mustard on draft there.
It's exactly what it was.
They had Hellman's mustard on draft there. Is what they.
I was lucky enough to see Jordan go first, so I had a very conservative mustard pour.
I really did I took the first wave for you.
But if
that was Omaha Beach, like, follow me, man. We're gonna make it. We're gonna live forever. Like, no, Cameron's like, oh, you gotta duck and be evasive.
But I saw Mark do his though. But you acted so confident with how much mustard came out that I thought you were cool with it. I'm glad to hear now that you saw that it was an absurd amount of mustard on that hot dog.
And I like mustard, but oh my god.
Oh, it didn't ruin it, but man, it was a lot. It was a lot of mustard.
The funny thing about where we were sitting in the 300 level was if you came in from one terminal to the net, like one side was tough to get to our spot. You'd have to kind of like, excuse me, so, with like 90% of the row. Where if you came in the other side, which I didn't, was like 3 people. We could just get right to your seat. You have to find a good spot like that where you can an easy out, easy in.
Now the problem with the United Center that I didn't remember from my last time being there though is it was very narrow from the floor space to the seat in front of you. You only had about 6 inches, so like there wasn't a lot of space for like multiple feet.
I was sitting on top of the person in front.
I was pretty terrified that I was going to fall forward on the crowd.
I think the last time you guys went, you had like way better seats.
We did.
We were in like the 200 level or something. Yeah. Like you pay the extra 50 to get some
to get about 4
like if
inches.
We're painting a picture, we're not exactly like in the bowels of the boat, but we're definitely not going to make it off the Titanic.
We're eye level with the Jumbotron is what we want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, I've been to games where I've been locked in the lower decks screaming like, we just want to fight for our survival. So, it's been worse.
Speaking of which, I don't really remember this, but I have written down Jordan took the elevator with Jordan took the escalator with the women and children.
Wait, what? Oh yeah.
So when we were exiting the game, I thought okay. So when we were exiting the game, it's a herd of people, making their ways to the exit.
That's
so
right.
we've gotten out of the arena and into like the back alleys, like riding the escalator down from our storage section. I thought I was going with the flow of traffic, but it turns out I budged with like a mom and her 3 young kids, and I just like sat in the middle of them, and I thought we were all just riding the escalator down, but yeah, I did a real Billy Zane type move, I guess, to get off.
They were doing it in chunks, so there wouldn't be any overflowing at the bottom of it, and you just happened to just cram yourself in with the family.
Right.
Do you want to know the all-time one of those that I'm proud of in my life? Megs and I flew into New York. And we got off the plane and we went to a taxi. And you know how there's taxi lines?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I now know that, but we were, I don't know, like 26 or 7 at the time. We just went to I'm just like Mr. Magooing it, and Megan probably knew that we probably shouldn't do that. And I just budged that fucking line and get in a taxi, and we were on our way to the city.
Mr. Magoo is the perfect explanation.
I just wasn't paying attention. We just budged the whole line. Nobody said shit.
Mark, do you remember when you got
awesome.
called out for being the rudest person at Riot Fest for budging the water line?
Oh yeah, yeah. They're like, oh, who's this guy?
This was an honest to God mistake. Like there was just, it was a mass of people leaving stage at Riot Fest, a big rock music festival in Chicago, and so we were just following the flow of people trying to get to the water refill station because it was like summer and almost like 100 degrees or something. But we just veered with like a mass of people into like the water line. But it turns out if you look to our right, that water line
was the last of the veer.
Yeah, that water line stretched real far back, and there was a mass of people just budging in. But then
granted, this guy had to wait 5-6 more seconds than I did to get to the water.
Oh yeah, it was the guy right. It was the guy getting budged on.
Yeah,
it was the guy we were budging on,
this
essentially.
asshole.
But there was this dad with his kid, and he was super loud, like pointing out Mark, being like, "Look what we got here! The rudest guy at Riot Fest. I guess he doesn't care about lines." And he was just calling out super loud, just Mark, out of all these people who budged. But like, you were drunk enough to get into it a bit, like, "Hey man, I didn't know, but I'm here now, so deal with it," kind of vibe.
You want my water bottle?
It was an intense, funny fight.
Here's my take on this. I'm not pro budgers. But I am pro budging.
Okay.
So a budger is like a lot like a shusher, if you.
Oh.
And no. I don't want to be a shusher.
I don't want to be a budger.
I was a budger that day.
But that was an inadvertent budge.
It might not.
The only time where a budge is good.
Okay, so now we're getting behind it. You knew there was a little budging going on?
There might have been a little budging going on.
Oh, I was innocent. I had no idea.
Oh, well, then I followed
Cameron.
But I knew what Cameron was doing.
Cameron's like one of those servicemen. I was just following orders. I didn't know. I thought.
I will say, as soon as Mark started getting yelled at this dad, I bailed, and I was like, "I'm filling up my water. I'm not dealing with this shit."
I'm not with him.
I left Mark to argue. I'm like, I'm out.
But think about this. That dad probably had 10 instances. He's like, it ends today.
I thought you were about to say like 10, like 3, 1, 2.
I thought you were say 10 Guinnesses.
That might have been. What was he one of those dads? You were there.
No, see, the problem
was he beers deep?
No, he was just mad because he was in the sun carting his son around all day. The problem is we were the 10 deep Guinnessers
His emo
stumbling
son,
in, just
yeah.
being like, "What's going on? Is this water?" That was the problem.
Yeah, you guys were in the wrong. But answer this.
Yeah.
Did you get water real quick?
Immediately.
We did.
We sure did. And not only that, I stood there for a second, filled, drink, then I filled it. I really milked it.
Yeah, you do. You do
Oh,
what you do
really?
with
Yeah.
the soda fountain at like a McDonald's or a Wendy's. You kind of like
Sure. Yeah, you got to get
some free refills.
Got to get your fill while you're standing there.
One of my I've been a lot. I've been to Lollapalooza and Riot Fest a lot, but one of my favorite experiences, and this made me remember it. I was watching Vampire Weekend, right? And this guy comes up to me, and he was like a contemporary age, but he definitely didn't look like he listened to any of the music. He had like a polo on, and what are those one like Cambry shorts or whatever? Hey, he didn't look like he was there for the music festivals. Sure. He's got double fisting Tall Boys Budweisers, so I'm pretty sure that he was not having 4 16-ounce beers, but like he got some for him and a friend. He comes up to me, and it was Vampire Weekend or something, and he goes, "Is this?" And the artist I'm about to say was playing later that day or at the same time. He goes, "Is this 2 Chainz?" I go, "No." He goes, "Cool," and then just keeps walking. Like he was just like, "All right, well, cool. I don't listen to music, but I'll find
2 Chainz
them."
must be over there.
Is it over there? Okay, thanks.
I will say I've drunkenly kind of done something stupid like that at a music festival where I ran into another friend who's in the music scene. And I'm like, "Oh, are you going to see?" And I just butchered the name later. "You going to that stage?" And he's like, "Oh, you mean like Super Haven?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, they're rad, right? I'm going to be there next."
Cameron might have the worst luck at music festivals. Like, so we're watching, let's say,
Incubus was the worst.
Incubus. Yeah, right. We're standing there. We're maybe a little high, a little drunk.
It's Incubus.
So, people are going to other stages, right? Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of stages at Riot Fest. But for some reason, Cameron has the avenue where they see his tall figure, and they're like,
I'm a taller guy.
We're gonna pass
I'm
it.
6'3".
It's just like now a crowd of people are like passing through between me and Cameron because
It's inevitable.
You're a meeting
it's
point?
inevitable at any festival that I become a
We're not a
No,
meeting
I'm just
point.
a focal point to get to. If you're in a crowd, you're like, that head is sticking
Meet
up.
at the tall
it's
guy.
not meet there. It's the I'm
It's
just.
not me. It's like past
Yeah,
the-
that's
past
just.
next
I'm a
to him.
destination. I'm a focal point in the
Widen your
future
shoulders,
to get to.
widen your
But here's
shoulders.
the problem.
You're saying you're a landmark to somebody's way back to where they were.
correct.
Gotcha.
Hansel
It's
and Gretel. He's a breadcrumb.
It's not even that. It's more rudimentary, my friends. It's the fact that smaller people are lost in the crowd. They look up and they just see my head and they're like, "All right, 10 meters, get to that head," and then beyond. That's honest to God what it is. But because so many people do that, it becomes a lane of traffic surrounding me all the
amount
time.
of eye rolls and sighs that Cameron like just as like people pass him and like between our group is
Dude, I just give in now. I go limp as
amazing.
people just push me around. I'm like that fucking like air machine, like dancing car.
You're not absurdly like freakishly
No, I'm
tall.
only like
but you're-
6'3". I'm not that tall.
You're 6'3", 4". Do people get real pissed at you for standing in front of them?
I'm sure.
Oh, this guy.
I try to
Dude,
be.
they're like, I don't know if you're tall enough or not.
Yeah, but I try to be cool about that. I mean, one, I don't really want to be in the shit anymore. I prefer to be somewhere back,
What do
standing,
you mean,
sitting.
like hunch over a little bit? or
No,
what
I
do
just
you
try
do?
to be far back enough that like I shouldn't be your
Okay.
problem.
Well, we're not like rushing up to barricade by.
Yeah,
any
I
means
try
for,
not
like,
to just because I'm
Incubus.
annoying for people. I mean, best case scenario, we're at some sort of sitting situation, you know. Speaking of which,
that'd
went
be
to a
great.
concert this weekend at Concord, and I was a dummy.
Which I've never been to.
That's a
yet,
great venue.
still.
Oh, it's one of my favorite.
That's what everybody says. It's
Really
awesome,
nice.
but I just
But I was up against the back gate on that upper level, funny enough. And because I was doing that, I was leaning back, so I wasn't standing on my feet properly. And like after the first band, I was like, "Oh my God, I think my heels are broken because they've been supporting my weight for 30 minutes and I'm standing completely incorrect." So it was a good show, but my feet were just like done after the first band because I was just leaning up against a pole or the railing.
one of the things I can truly say that makes me feel like I'm getting older is, no matter what they look like, I'm gonna wear the best shoes for the support of my feet in the situation.
I get that. I have a pair of Adidas
Yeah.
that are very.
I'm
very
not-
Wear the
I'm not
Nike
quite-
Monarchs.
Yeah, I'm not quite to like New Balances, but like I'm not far away. I mean, like, not for a cool factor.
I mean, I think we only have to get in trouble here if we start hearing the Velcro rip of your shoe, you know? And I'm saying if that's like the main adhesive stick for your shoe, if you don't have any lace anymore.
I have like a shoe related thing, and it's more for Mark, and I don't even know for the podcast. Him and I both used to work with the crazy guy at the restaurant we worked at. His name is Tony. Sure. He's like a daytime manager, but he was just a nightmare. So at a restaurant, you just make fun of people all day, you know, like your coworkers, the cooks make fun of you, you make fun of them, whatever. He gave me this one sick burn that like I have not been able to get over. So he's like, I was overweight and chubby at the time. I'm still a little chubby, but he's like, and he was
you
too.
look great.
But this is not even going to be a good story, but I'm going to tell it anyway.
I know where this is going, I feel
He's like, man, you know how I can tell you're chubby? And I go, oh, how? And I was like, I was going to get in a back and forth with him, but he completely shut me down. He goes, your shoelaces are tied on the inside of your ankles. They're not in the center. That's what fat people do. And I go, oh, my God.
Because you gotta hike the leg up, and that's where you tie it. You tie it on the inside of your, like, on your, yeah.
He shut me up, and I've never forgotten that. Now I'm like, where are my shoelaces at? Right. Like, it was such a sick burn. It was maybe the best burn I had at the place the whole time.
Right. You've never been more like conscious about that since then.
Oh yeah, I think about it all the time now.
That's so funny.
I got a sick burn. One of the funniest burns I had with Mark, and this may be just dumb stuff to talk about, but one of the cooks there, I think it was Rodriguez, no, it was Nelson.
Again, I do not edit this podcast in case you do not want to use names.
Oh, well, whatever. It was somebody, right?
Sure. Person A.
You guys were going back and forth, and he just said, you burned him, and then he came back with Pinchy Stifler, and I didn't think he knew who the fuck Stifler was.
And that was funny. I'm like, oh, fuck, okay. Like, that's funny. You called me Stifler? That's fucking...
It's just funny what... It's the unexpected correction. Oh, so good, though. It's so good.
You guys have anything else this week?
Do you want me to tell you more stories that aren't relatable? Cameron's got the all-time, when he used to work in restaurants, he got called a nickname that he loved.
What?
Shia LaBeouf?
No, Superman or Clark
I was about to say that.
Well, he also got called Bambi like the next day too. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's up and down.
I mean, it was up and down. My three most used nicknames at that restaurant were Superman, Clark Kent, Bambi, and then White Chocolate. So.
Okay, that's ooh.
Hey, give it to me. I didn't. It's not like I was.
You're more of an almond bark.
I did leave off an adjective. I was known as sexy white chocolate, but I mean that seems a little braggadocious.
Okay.
Yeah, all he did was give it space to brag. He's like, I did. There was more, just to be. Okay. Well, do I have anything else? I told you the size of my child. And that's all I came prepared.
Yeah, let's wrap it up for this week.
Good shit,
Thanks
boys.
for tuning in to Urban Hermit. Thanks for coming into our hideaway, and we'll check you next time.
Bye.